Okay, class, so this lesson is going to be for Unit 6, Lesson 1. We're going to talk about direct variation, inverse variation and joint variation. Okay, here's the um, official definition for direct variation. Sometimes we say proportional, but also just means variation. Okay, direct variation is as one value increases, another value increases at the same rate. Okay, and then inversely proportional or inverse variation, when one value decreases, the other value increases at the same rate. So when that happens, we have this formula here. So these are the two different things that change. The y is a variable, it could be a number. X is a variable, it could be another number. But k is your constant. The k here doesn't change. So the general formula we use for direct variation is y equals k times x. Okay, again, k is the constant of variation or constant of proportionality right here. And I'll show you how do we use it once we start doing some of these examples. Inverse variation, the formula looks something like this. Inverse variation gets the y equals k, just like here y equals k, but the x, how it's related is it's getting divided by the constant. Okay, so we want to first be able to write a general equation for the given description. Remember to use k as a constant. The reason I put that here is because when you read this sentence, it says A varies directly as B. Nowhere in the sentence does it tell you to use K, but I like to look at the word varies, or the word, sometimes we would say proportional, and think of this word as equals K. Okay, so if you look at this, it says A varies, so A equals K. Directly times B, and directly means it's being multiplied. So that's it. That's my general equation. Y varies, so Y equals K. Just remember, whenever you see the word varies, you want to write equals K, not K equals. We don't do that. You're going to write equals K because you need to have the variable, whatever is varies, you have to put that variable there. Because it says inversely, I'm gonna put a fraction bar as the cube of x. So x, and then the cube, we're just gonna put x cubed. Okay, but the main thing here is the word inverse. Inverse means it goes in the denominator. Y varies, y equals k, directly as the square of x, x squared. And then g varies directly, g varies, so equals k, some constant, directly as directly as a and c, so a and c, k times a times c, and inversely with r. Okay, and then the amount of sales tax paid T varies, so T varies, so T equals some constant directly as a total of goods purchased, so K times G. The length of L of a spring varies, so L equals K. L varies inversely divided by the force F. That's it. And then the last one, Y varies jointly. So the word jointly just means that it's a combination of, like, you're gonna have more than one variable. Like for example, right here we had more than one variable. This is just another way to say jointly. So it says Y equals K jointly with X and the cube of W, so W cubed. Okay. So the next thing we're gonna do is it's gonna give us more information, and then for this example, it's asking us to find the constant of variation. Okay, so basically it's asking us to find K. find K. So it says the number of muffins sold varies. Some muffins varies. So I'm just going to say the muffins equals K directly with the amount of sales. So K times the sales. If there are 8 muffins, so I'm going to substitute the muffins is equal to 8. So if there are 8 muffins, and K, we don't know what it is. We'll solve for that. Times S, and it says the sale of $20. What is K? So I'm going to do K times sale is $20. So just put 20. So now we just use algebra to find K. So to get K by itself, I have to divide both sides by 20. So you have K equals 8 over 20. We can reduce that. Let's see, 4 goes into 8 twice, 4 goes into 25. So K is equal to 2 over 5. Okay. The time required to complete a job varies inversely. So I see the word varies. It says the time varies. So time equals K inversely with the number of people working. So divided by the number of people working. It took 20 hours. So that's the time for how many people? 5 people, or 5 painters. So I'm gonna substitute those in numbers in. Whoops. So T is equal to 20 equals K over there are 5 people. Alright, so we're going to solve for K, and it's being divided, so I'm going to multiply both sides by 5. So 5 times 20 is 100 equals K, and that is my answer. I'll do one more example and then I'll have you guys practice this. It says the force needed to keep a car from skidding on a curb varies. What varies? It looks like the force varies. F equals K directly as the weight of the car, directly as the weight, so W times W, and the square of the speed. So speed squared, and again inversely, so everything divided by the radius of the curves. And it says that suppose a 3,960 pound, that looks like that's the weight, is required to keep a, oh sorry, that's the force, my bad, to keep a 2,200 pound car, so that's your weight, from traveling at 40 miles per hour, so that looks like your speed is 40, from skidding on the curb with the radius equal to 500. Okay, so I'm gonna have to substitute all of these numbers. So, oh, I don't want to put an equal sign. Move that over. Oh man. So I'm gonna say the force is 3,960 equals, I don't know what K is, times the weight is, never multiplying, I like to use parentheses, 2,200, and then the speed is 40, don't forget the square, divided by R, the radius is 500. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take my calculator. I'm just gonna there's a few different ways you can do it. You can do step by step. You can multiply by 500 on both sides, or take 40 squared. But these variation problems, everything is going to be multiplied and divided. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this part right here, the part is circled in red. I'm just going to put it in my calculator. That, for me, that is the easiest way to do it. There's other ways to do this. If this part is confusing, just let me know. 2,200, oops, forgot my parentheses, times 40 squared, and then divided by 500. So I got here 3,960 equals K times, and all of that is equal to 7,040. And then to get K by itself, I'm going to divide both sides by 7,040. So now you have K equals 3,960 divided by 7, all of that. So K equals 0.50, hold on, 0.65625. Let me just double check all of the numbers. Yep, that looks good. Okay. And then I'll have you guys try these. Alright, moving on. The next page for this lesson shows you that how to we're gonna do more things with it. So on the first page I showed you how to write a general equation. Then the second page I showed you how to find a constant. And then we're gonna there's gonna be another step, which is use the new equation. Okay, so let's write the general equation. It says A varies directly as B. So A varies directly, equals K. I'm trying to make it all colorful. I put equals K because of the word varies, directly as B. So K times B. It says when A is equal to 6, so I'm going to substitute 6 in for A, equals K when B is equal to 2. So times 2. And then now I'm going to find, before I do the next step, I have to find K. It says find the constant K. So I'm going to divide both sides by 2. And that crossed out. So you have K equals 6 divided by 2 is 3. And then now it says find B when A is equal to 27, and just remember that we found K. Now we can say and K is equal to 3. We found K here. So I'm going to go back to this equation and I'm going to plug in the new numbers. It says A is equal to 27, so the A changed from 6, now it changed to 27, equals K, and K we know is 3, times B. Well, that's what we're looking for. So we're just going to divide both sides by 3. So you have B equals 27 divided by 3 is 9. Okay? And then let me go through a few more examples. It says H varies jointly with C and M. So H equals K jointly C times M. If H is equal to 75, I don't know what K is yet, and C is equal to 5, and M is equal to 6. What is M if H is equal to 1? what is m? So first, before I do this next part, let me figure out what k is. 5 times 6 is 30. And then divide by 30 on both sides. And then k is equal to 75 divided by 30. I'm just going to use a decimal. 2.5. And then it says, what is m? What is m when h is equal to 192? So now see, the h was at 75 and now it changed to 192. So I'm going to put that new number equals, I'm going to use the same equation, okay? K, I figured out what k is, which is 2.5 times c is 7. See, this is why I like to use parentheses. 7, and then times m, and I don't know what m is. That's what I'm going to find out. So 2.5 times 7 is 17.5 m, and then just divide both sides. And so you have m equals 192.5 divided by 17.5 is 11. That is my answer. Okay, let's see. Maybe I'll do a more difficult one. Let me do 4. It says the length of a spring varies inversely, so L is equal to K inversely, so divided by the force. If the length of the spring is 20, L is equal to 20, and when subjected to a force of 10, so over 10, find the length of the spring when subjected to a force of 4. So before I do that, I have to first find what K is. So that's 10 times 20 is 200. Oh gosh, sorry, I have just had a brain freeze. 200 equals K. And then now I can do the rest of the problem. It says find the length L when K is equal to 200. We found that, over the force, which is 4. So L is equal to 200 over 4 is 50. Okay. And then here's just more practice. Yep. There you go. Let me know if you have any questions.